येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजना सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, we're reading from Bhagavatam, second canto, chapter second, text number 12. आदीन लीला आदीन लीला हसिते क्षणल्लसा भ्रूभंग संसूचित भूरि अनुग्रहम् इक्षेत चिन्तामयमेनमीश्वरम् यावन्मनोदरण यावतिस्तते आदीन लीला हसिते क्षणोल्लसा भ्रूभंग संसूचित भूर्यनुग्रहम् ईक्षेत चिन्तामयमेनमीश्वरम् यावन्मनोधारण यावतिस्तते आदीन लीला हसिते क्षुणल्लसा भ्रूभंग संसूचित भूर्यनुग्रहम् ईक्षेत चिन्तामयमेनमीश्वरम् यावन्मनोधारण यावतिस्तते आदीन लीला हसिते क्षणोल्लसा Adina Leela Tito Kunalasa. Translation, word to word, meaning Adina, very magnanimous. Leela, pastimes. Hasita, smiling. Ikshana, by glancing over. Ullasa, glowing. Bhrubhanga, signals of the eyebrow. Samsuchita, indicated. Bhru, Buri, extensive. Anugraham, benediction. Iksheta, one must concentrate on. Chintamayam, transcendental. Enam, this particular. Ishwaram, the Supreme Lord. Yavad, as long as. Mana, the mind. Dharanaya, by meditation. Avatishtate, can be fixed. Translation purport is by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. The Lord's magnanimous pastimes and the glowing glancing of his smiling face are all indications of his extensive benedictions. One must therefore concentrate on this transcendental form of the Lord as long as the mind can be fixed on him by meditation. Very wonderful purport. Long purport also, where Prabhupada is emphasizing many aspects, so devotees can just observe carefully what all things Prabhupada is emphasizing in purport. In Bhagavad Gita 12.5, it is said that the impersonalist undergoes a series of difficult programs on account of his impersonal meditation. But the devotee, due to the Lord's personal service, progresses very easily. Impersonal meditation is therefore a source of suffering for the impersonalist. Here, the devotee has an advantage over the impersonalist philosopher. The impersonalist is doubtful about the personal feature of the Lord, and therefore he always tries to meditate upon something which is not objective. For this reason, there is an authentic statement in the Bhagavatam regarding the positive concentration of the mind on the factual form of the Lord. The process of meditation recommended here in Bhakti Yoga, or the process of devotional service after one is liberated from the material conditions. Jnana Yoga is the process of liberation from the material conditions. After one is liberated from the conditions of material existence, when one is nivritta, as previously stated herein, or when one is free from all material necessities, one becomes qualified to discharge the process of Bhakti Yoga. Therefore, Bhakti Yoga includes Jnana Yoga, or in other words, the process of pure devotional service, simultaneously serves the purpose of Jnana Yoga. Liberation from material conditions is automatically achieved by the gradual development of pure devotional service. These effects of Bhakti Yoga are called anartha nivritti. Things which are artificially required gradually disappear along with the progress of Bhakti Yoga. Meditation on the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, the first processional step, must show its effect by anartha nivritti. The grossest type of anartha which binds the conditioned soul in material existence is sex desire. And this sex desire gradually develops in the union of male and female. When the male and female are united, the sex desire is further aggravated by the accumulation of buildings, children, friends, relatives, and wealth. When all these things are acquired, the conditioned soul becomes overwhelmed by such entanglements. And the false sense of egoism or the sense of myself and mine becomes prominent, and the sex desire expands to various political, social, altruistic, philanthropic, and many other unwanted engagements resembling the foam of the sea waves, which becomes very prominent at one time and at the next moment vanishes as quickly as a cloud in the sky. The conditioned soul is encircled by such products as well as products of sex desire, and therefore Bhakti Yoga leads to gradual evaporation of the sex desire, which is summarized in three headings, namely profit, adoration, and distinction. All conditioned souls are mad after these different forms of sex desire, and one shall see for himself how much he has been freed from such material hankerings based primarily on the sex desire. As a person feels his hunger satisfied after eating each morsel of foodstuff, he must similarly be able to see the degrees to which he has been freed from sex desire. The sex desire is diminished along with its various forms by the process of bhakti yoga, because bhakti yoga automatically, by the grace of the Lord, effectively results in knowledge and renunciation, even if the devotee is not materially very well advanced. Knowledge means knowing things as they are, and if by deliberation it is found that there are things which are at all unnecessarily, naturally the person who is acquired knowledge who has acquired knowledge leaves aside such unwanted things. When the conditioned soul finds by culture of knowledge that material necessities are unwanted things, he becomes detached from such unwanted things. This stage of knowledge is called vairagya, or detachment from unwanted things. We have previously discussed that the transcendentalist is required to be self sufficient and should not beg from the rich, blind persons to fulfill the bare necessities of life. Sukdev Goswami has suggested some alternatives for the bare necessities of life, namely the problem of eating, sleeping, and shelter. But he has not suggested any alternative for sex satisfaction. One who has the sex desire still with him should not at all try to accept the renounced order of life. For one who has not attained to this stage, there is no question of renounced order of life. So, by the gradual process of devotional service, under the guidance of a proper spiritual master, and following the principles of Bhagavatam, one must be able to at least control the gross sex desire before one accepts the renounced order of life factually. So, this is in the first, you saw one theme Prabhupada is speaking. What is in the first paragraph Prabhupada is speaking about? Huh? About impersonalist, correct? Na? And the personalist, the difference between. And in the second paragraph, Prabhupada is emphasizing about the consequences of holding on to the sex impressions in the heart. And in the third, you see now Prabhupada is giving the remedy, what to be done. You know, we are all in this world affected by sex desire. Yes, sir. We have to raise two hands, you know. Lord, you know, yes, we are there here. So we need solution. So till now, Sukdev Goswami has not said, you know, he's given alternative for everything, but not for the. So you see here, very important. What is very important, if we have to overcome this, and for your good, in this material world, everyone is affected. Not only us, even to the point of Brahma and Shiva also have this aspect as well. So it is that the only person who is free from sex desire is Narayana. So it's a, you know, it's a hopeful thing, you know, as such. Everyone is here, you know, part of the club, you know. Yeah, see here. So purification means getting free gradually from sex desire. And this is attained by meditation on the person of the Lord, as described here in beginning from the feet. One should not try to go upwards artificially without seeing for himself how much he has been released from the sex desire. The smiling face of the Lord in the 10th canto of Shrimad Bhagavatam, and there are many upstarts who at once try to begin with the 10th canto, and especially with the 5 chapters which delineate the Ras Leela of the Lord. This is certainly improper. By such improper study or hearing of Bhagavatam, the material opportunists have played havoc by indulgence in sex life in the name of Bhagavatam. The vilification of Bhagavatam is rendered by the acts of so-called devotees. One should be free from all kinds of sex desire before he tries to make a show of recital of Bhagavatam. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur clearly defines the import of purification as cessation from sex indulgence. He says, Yatha yatha dhi cha shuddhyati vishva lampyatam त्यजति तथा तथा धारयेत् इति चित्त शुद्धि तारतम्येनैव ध्यान तारतम्यान uktam. And as one gets free from the intoxication of sex indulgence by purification of intelligence, one should step forward from the next meditation, or in other words, the progress of meditation on the other different limbs of the transcendental body of the Lord should be enhanced in proportion to the progress of purification of the heart. The conclusion is that those who are still entrapped by sex indulgence should never progress to meditation above the feet of the Lord. Rebol. Therefore, recital of Srimad Bhagavatam by them should be restricted to the first and second cantos of the great literature. One must complete the purificatory process by assimilating the contents of the first 9 cantos. Then one should be admitted into the realm of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada ki jai. So this verse is very, very important. So in a translation, mainly we can see that 3 aspects are being discussed. So it is mentioned in the verse that Adina Leela Hasita Ikshana Ullasad Bhrubhanga Samsuchita Bhuri Anugraham. So Lord Krishna, has given lot of benedictions, and especially the two most what you call extensive benedictions that the Supreme Lord has benedicted upon the living entities of this world are mentioned here. Two. What are they? First one is Adina Leela, the pastimes of the Lord, the magnanimous pastimes of the Supreme Lord. So this, is considered one of the greatest benedictions upon the living entity. Why the pastimes of the Lord are such a great benedictions upon the living entity? Yes. So we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam extensive glorification of the pastimes of the Lord. Correct. See, in this world, the minds of the people are completely enchanted in the leelas of eye and mind. Right? You go and talk to person, they're so much engrossed in talking about themselves. I did this leela yesterday. I did this leela last month. I went there in that Wonderla. I did this leela. If you see there, they're always speaking about what? Their own leelas. Correct. You go and just sometimes they are so proud, they come and give their own biography, autography books, ki I did this leela, please read this leela. Who wants your nonsense leela, in this world. And so many, what you call is this novels are written, books are written, magazines are published. So people are engrossed and lost in eye and mind leelas. So we can see how much a person is advanced based on this one characteristic. How much he wants to glorify Krishna and does not want to glorify himself. How much he wants to glorify the leelas of the Lord present in the Bhagavatam and not the leelas of his own. That is one particular characteristic we can check whether we are advanced or not. So we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam extensive glorification of Lord's leelas. So it is said, Shinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Grinatascha Swachestitam Kalena Atidirgena Bhagavan Vishateridi. So it is said, Shinvata Shraddhaya Nityam. Anybody who is engaged with Shraddha, sincerity, glorifying the pastimes of the Lord always, not once in Amavasya and Purnima. Means reading Bhagavatam once in Amavasya and Purnima and thinking that I will come down in my I and mine, or I will, get rid of sex desire. No. What? Nityam. Nityam. What is another shloka, famous shloka where, it is said we have to read the Bhagavatam regularly? Huh? Nityam Bhagavata Seva. How does it start? नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी. So it is said here, what is the starting line? Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu. All the abhadras present in the heart, starting with kama. Kama, krodha, mada, matsara, lobha. All these things, whatever anarthas are there, it will go away. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavatasa. By worshipping the Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. So how much have we tasted? I know that I have to rise from this platform to that platform. His Holiness Bhakti Amrit Swami Maharaj was telling, we are now in a forgetful state in this material world. Correct, no? In this world, we have forgotten who Krishna is. We have forgotten, what spiritual world is. We have forgotten who we are. So we are at this level of forgetfulness. So we are supposed to go from this level of forgetfulness to that level of forgetfulness. What is that level of forgetfulness? To go to the spiritual world where we forget that I am, what you call is, I am part and parcel of Krishna, and rather we are engaged in the four rasas with Krishna, where, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Even they also forget, what you call is who they are. Correct? Na? They're completely engrossed. Mother Yashoda think I am, mother of Lord Krishna. I'm supposed to take care of him. What will happen to his feet? She has forgotten that Krishna is the supreme Lord and she is her son. She has completely forgotten over that. Correct? Na? So we have to rise from this forgetfulness to that level of forgetfulness. And to do that, we need what? Nityam Bhagavata Seva. So we have to completely engross ourselves in the hearing of the Supreme Personality of God. Can you show my screen? Yeah. Sorry. So I'll discuss some aspects which are important. So this is talked very extensively in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. Nature of fruitive activity. Yeah. Pure devotional service. Where is that? Here it is. Mhm. Yeah. This is very, it cuts the whole thing. Actually, I mean, why I'm referring more to 11th canto is because it's not different from Bhagavad Gita actually. Bhagavad Gita gives axioms, it gives principles. 11th canto gives stories, it gives explanation, elaboration. So that's why it's very, 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 very in this one. See here, Nimi is asking, now we wish to learn about the illusory potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Vishnu, which bewilders even great mystics. My Lord, my Lords, please speak to us about this subject. Correct? Na? See, why Bhakti Yoga is special compared to even Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. So that is also spoken in 11th canto very extensively. It speaks in the pure devotional service aspect. So very simple example to understand how Bhakti Yoga is stronger than Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is you work hard, and what you call is by that gradually you elevate and you go back to the spiritual. Karma Yoga means you to keep doing good work, good work, good work. Then you'll rise to Swargaloka. Then it's Kama Mukti. Gradually person attains. Jnana Yoga is what? Person thinks, this material world is going to inflict upon me suffering. So let me get detached from it and absorb myself in self-realization. What you call is come to a part where I understand I am the spirit soul and not this body by hard struggle. So he goes to Himalayas, puts all the, he sits in between the snow with only coping and he meditates upon the Lord. Koi hai ऐसे करने के लिए? No, impossible. Correct? Somebody to go nowadays and sit on the forest. What? Even if temperature drops to 25, 22 degrees Celsius. We think where is the button for hot water. For us, Jnana Yoga is, very important to think of. To think of. So, what is the most fitting thing for us is what? Bhakti Yoga. So, example was given. There were two devotees who used to come to temple, husband and wife. They used to come to temple. So, their home was like, 5 kilometers far from the temple. So, every day morning when they have to come to temple, on the way, on the road, there were dogs. There were dogs, and the dogs, what you call is, as soon as they used to walk and come, what will happen? The dogs will stand in front of them to catch them. So now coming becomes easier or tougher, because they have to come slowly when they are coming. I remember, when we were in college, if you know, RV college hostel is, very inside. So morning when the boys has to come to voice, they have to walk almost like 1 or 2 kilometers and come in the morning at 5 o'clock. And dogs, I remember when I used to come in the morning, 5 o'clock like that, supposed to cross the railway track, and there is a kind of jungle that has to come, and you don't know, what is there inside that or not. So when these husband and wife, they have to come, the dogs used to bark upon them, shouting. So they used to have difficulty, and after long struggle, somehow they used to reach the temple. So now to solve this problem, they went to the second stage. What is the second stage? They purchased bike. They purchased bike. So morning again, 5 o'clock, both husband and wife, they're sitting on the bike and they're coming. And now the dogs are also chasing them. So now, what you call, is the problem solved to some extent? To some extent, it is solved. Correct? It is solved to some extent. So when they are coming, dogs are trying to chase, but somehow, but still there is a danger that the dog can catch the feet, or the leg of the husband and wife. Correct? Now third is what they thought, "Arey, how to solve this problem? How to solve?" So third level is what they purchased car. So you sit inside the car and you're riding the car, and outside dogs are barking like anything. Do you think anything will happen? Peacefully, you can sit inside and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Bhakti Yoga gives this facility. You may have whatever, how much of distance you may have to travel, how much ever problem you may have, but because you are sitting inside, there is no more attack of what you call is the external agents upon you. Correct? No? So Rasham gives this beautiful example. So bhakti is susukam. It is simultaneous, what you call, working on the heart as well as developing attachment to the Lord. It goes simultaneously. One, it's not like first you have to neti, and you reach at this point, and then you start developing attraction to the Lord. No, no. There is a problem, for that. We may go up, and from there maybe I'll go to first Brahmaloka, and after landing in Brahmaloka, easily I'll go to Vaikuntha Loka. No, 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 no. To go to Brahmaloka, it takes so much. It takes so much of difficulty. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is very much conducive. So now to perform Bhakti Yoga, what is given? Navavida Bhakti is said. 9 ways to develop attachment to the Lord. Correct? Na? So among those 9 ways, the first and foremost is Shravanam. है ना? So as much to the extent we are strong in Shravanam, we can advance in the further stages. If I reach 10th, it's actually accumulation of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and only then I can reach 10th. It's not like I'm able to do Smaranam very nicely, but I'm not able to do Shravanam. My Shravanam is not good, but Smaranam is very good. Is that possible? No. So if Shravanam is very much, what you call, done properly, then I can go up. Then I can go up. Then I can go up. So you see here how much the glorification of Shravanam is emphasized. Please repeat this verse. Nanu triptye jushan yashman vacho harikatamritam samsara tapa nistapto martyastatapa bejasa. Although I am drinking the nectar of your statements about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, my thirst is not yet satiated. Such nectarian descriptions of the Lord and his devotees are the real medicine for the conditioned souls like me who are tormented by the threefold miseries of the material existence. So the point we're discussing is the Lord has given us pastimes, right? How much it is, benedictory upon us. So here it is mentioned, somebody who is engaged in hearing to the glorification of the Lord, what happens? Samsara tapa nistapto. All the burning that is happening in our life will go. And this is very true. This is very true. We see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, his whole building was on fire. Business, pharmaceutical industry was on fire. When Prabhupada came and saw his own building is in fire, say, you built one big, office like Microsoft, or, I saw yesterday Visa, building, big building, it is there. You see the whole building is on fire. What happens? जल गए, राख हो गए ना सब कुछ. So nice, it got burnt away. Do you feel like 3 months, 3 months? I remember, there was one person who built his house standing for 3 months, in one of our lane, in the hometown. 3 years he stood and, built the house, deluxe, 2 BHK house, built. He was seeing, every brick that was put in the house, right? He used to brush it within the dust, dust लगा के लगा कि मेरा घर है अच्छा बनाना है इसको he was brushing the dust and he was putting good quality is put or not, iron rod is put properly or not, is it coming little bit front or not. And what happened after 3 years? COVID came, and within 3 months he died. He left the body within 3 months. Wife and children who were there in the house were planning for 5, 6 years to think, I'm going to live a happy life. They thought this house is not good, it's not auspicious, because as soon as we came in the 3 months, the husband left the world, so they put lock to the house and they moved away. They moved away. So this is the burning that is there in the house. But if somebody is absorbed in hearing the Harikatha, then what happens? Samsara tapa nistapto. So that burning thing that the world produces in us, what happens? It will not have effect. There was one devotee, this from Prayagraj. I think so there are some devotees from Prayagraj here, right? Yeah, Prabhu. So, Achyut Mohan Prabhu was telling. So there was one devotee who till, December has not got placed. But he's sitting in the December camp and hearing to class. Prabhuji was telling, this fellow, he was telling us, this devotee, he has not got job. Still, he's very peacefully sitting and listening to the class. And next month he got placed, next month he got placed. You may think, Arey Babu, kya hai, a training system, they will not put that fear, Prabhuji was telling, he has not got placed, but why? Because he's absorbed. He's not feeling that fire, mujhe nahi hua. There was one devotee working in the corporate. So he just finished his job night 11 o'clock and came to the voice, came to the center morning, So night, he came around 9 o'clock like that. Night 11 o'clock, he got a mail. What? You were laid off. आपका कल से he was telling, no, Prabhu, my boss was so close with me, but he took a stand that I don't. There's no need for me to be in the office. 11 o'clock they sent the offer, and morning when he opened the letter, you were laid off. So what to do now? What to do now? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Except this, you don't have anything to do. You go and beat the door of the boss somehow or other. Do you think he'll give the job? So the only so now to get the strength, to do this, what you call is, you have to be absorbed in Harikatha. नहीं तो नहीं होता है. Very difficult it is otherwise. So what you call is, we have to absorb ourselves. Martyastat tapa bejasham. So Prabhupada, when he saw, he laughed, telling, this is actually mercy of the Lord upon me. Correct? No? This is mercy of the Lord upon me. One devotee was distributing books, did not read only for 3-4 months. Then what happened? He met with an accident. Full bandage, white color, one leg is tied to the bed and another, hand is temple president came, maybe, Prabhu will be in dukkha, he has got fractured like this, maybe, I should give some encouragement. So the temple president came, to that devotee and said, Prabhu, I came, tell me, how can I help you? said, Prabhu, I'm fully ecstatic now. With the whole bandage. He said, why? He said, 3 months, I did not read only Prabhupada books. Now, because of this bed rest, next 1 or 2 months, I am fully, going to be reading Prabhupada books as such. It takes them, to tell this statement. Correct, no? It's not easy. So when we are absorbed like this, the uncertainties that come in our life, we can see how Krishna is actually helping us. So absorbing ourselves in Bhagavatam is very, very important. Very, very important. See here, this is the medicine for conditioned souls like me. In the 10th canto, starting Nivritta Tarsher Upagiyamana Bhavau Shatashrota Manobhiraman Ka Uttama Shloka Gunanuvada Puman Virajeta Vina Pashugna Nivritta Tarsher Upagiyamana. We are all burning. You put some oil in the bowl and put on the gas. You have seen how the oil is burning. Like that we are burning in this material world. कोई doubt है? कुछ doubt है? कुछ doubt है इसमें? We are all boiling, in the metal. So when that boiling is happening, he is telling Nivrit Tarshir Upagiya Bhausha Tat Shrota Manobirata. The only medicine is what? Hearing to the Harikatha. You know? See here, this verse also speaks the same thing. You're able to see? As much we absorb ourselves in hearing to the glories of the Lord from the pure devotees, what happens? Gopis tell those who are absorbed in hearing, what happens? The pastimes of the Lord, the Harikatha, will make a nest inside our ears. And they are stuck. कभी कभी होता है ना, when something is stuck, it is like, what you call, something is there. So similarly, when one is absorbed in hearing to the Lord's Leela makes a nest in the ear. And it is always stuck. Means what? Daytime he does the activities, but when he's performed the activities in the what you call is it subtle, deeper, he's always thinking, no. So what happens? You, like, say for example, you read some pastime of Bhagavatam. Can you tell some pastime which is like very, very absorbing? Vrutasura, very, very absorbing. Yesterday we were reading this, Lakshmi's Shobhanam, how she got married to Narayan in the Samudra Manthan. When you fully absorb, when you read, what happens is, even in this world, when you see, right, you remember, okay, this was the point that was mentioned in the Bhagavatam. This is the thing. This is the thing. You read this Vrutasura also, how the whole, those 4 verses are mentioned, that Nanaka Prishtam, sorry, not Ajata Paksha, Iva Mataram Kaga, Stanyam Yatavat Surata Kshudartah, Priyam Priyeva Vishitam Vishanna, Mano Aravindaksha Didikshate Tvam. So when you see birds, when you see cow and calf, when you see in the offices boy and girl sitting together, what will you remember? What will you remember? Manu Aravindaksha Didikshati Tvam. Oh my dear Lord, when will my mind be attached at your lotus feet like this? When you read absorbingly. Otherwise, what happens? Our position is what? When we read here, mind will go there. ये मैंने देखा था उधर. ऐसे देखा था है ना? ये ऐसे कर रहे थे. We close the book and start thinking about that. This is our position. So it has to be reversed. Correct, na? So see here, this verse talks, what happens when we hear absorbingly. What happens to us? This is what it happens. We'll recite together. Time is less. Time is already 8:22. Wow. नाकामयेन तदप्यहं क्वचिन् न यत्र युष्माचरणाम्बुजाशव महत्तमान्तर्हृदयं मुक्तच्युतो विदित्सकर्णायुतमेषमेवर. This is a very, very beautiful verse. Telling Nakamayena tadapyaham क्वचिन्. I don't have anything that I want to hear from this word. Only thing na yatra yusmat Charanambujasham. I just want to be attached at your lotus feet. How? By hearing to the glorification of your lotus feet from the great souls who are completely attached. Mahattamantar Rudayan Mukachyuto. From the lotus mouth of these great souls, when I hear Vidit Swakarna Yutame Shame Vara. That the pastimes of the Lord will go into my ear and enter into my heart, and I'll get attached to your lotus feet. So even Parikshit Maharaj tells in the first canto, 17th chapter, when he's asked, what benedictions do you want? He tells, I want to be in the association of devotees. Why? When I'm there in the association of devotees, I'll get to hear about the glories of you. And by that, I'll be forced to get attached to your lotus feet. And by this, I'll come back. He's not telling, I want to come back to the spiritual world. No, he's telling, I want to be in the association of devotees and hear to the Harikatha, by which my attraction will develop, and automatically I'm going to come back to the spiritual world. And if you see our Kapiladev, he also tells, Satam Prasangam Mama Virya Samvido Bhavanti Ritkarna Rasayana Kata Tajhoshana Apavag Vartmani Shraddha Ratir Bhakti Rami. He is also, and even Prahlad Maharaj also tells the same thing. Ki, let me be attached to your Harikatha. What he tells? Uh, Tadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Magnicha. How does it start? Naivo Dvijay Paraduratya Vedan. So you see, everywhere they are asking for attraction to. So getting this opportunity to come and discuss Bhagavatam is the greatest festival to the living entity, where we can engage ourselves in the our mind in the attraction of the Lord. So it is said, how can we check ourselves whether I am hearing fully, completely or not? So it is mentioned, one of the characteristic is two things. First, we are very, very attentive to each and everything that's spoken in the Bhagavatam. Sometimes what happens, we hear, after sometimes, we start thinking about many other things. What is the menu, after this class, what you call is, what is the WhatsApp status? I have not yet checked, till now, कुछ भी हो रहा है, कि क्या 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 है, क्या क्या नहीं. I mean, people, are lost. This is one thing to check whether am I fully absorbed in Bhagavatam or not, Bhagavatam class or not, and coming on time for sure. That is there. Then second quality is, after the Bhagavatam class, we call it as post Bhagavatam enthusiasm. How much it is in us. I heard the Bhagavatam. After hearing, how much am I contemplating about it? That's what is said in the verse, right? What? Dhyayatam. How much am I contemplating about you? So, thinking about the Bhagavatam, what we heard, is also very important. And thinking only for short time will not work. It is mentioned what? Long time. We have to think about the Lord's pastimes and the beautiful face of the Lord. For a long time, we have to meditate upon. Then only it will have effect. Because it's mentioned in Bhagavatam 3rd canto, Sanchintayet Bhagavatas Charana Ravindam Vajrankushadvajasaro Rihalanchanadhyam Uttunga Rakta Vilasannaka Chakravala Jyotsna Virahata Hridayandakaram. If I want to get freed of this sex desire which is there in the heart, it will not happen, just by what you call little bit of playing game, in bhakti. It will not happen by that. What we are supposed to do? Sanchintayed. Chintayed. Chintayed means we have to meditate for long, long, long time. Only then the effects will be start feeling slowly and gradual. Because see, the andhakar that is there in our heart has been accumulated for millions and millions of lifetimes. Now, just like this, we want, Prabhuji, एक साल से माला कर रहा है प्रभुजी, कुछ नहीं हो रहा. Rather than decrease of lust, what is happening? बढ़ रहा है प्रभुजी अंदर, पता नहीं कैसे हो रहा है. Have this experience? Have this experience? पहले मैं देखता था कुछ नहीं होता था प्रभुजी, अभी देख ले तो पूरा कुछ हो जाता है प्रभुजी अंदर. ऐसा कैसे हो रहा है? Because what you call is, it's an indication that you are supposed to do for longer and longer time. पहले 4 माला कर रहे थे, अभी 16 माला करना है. अभी 16 माला कर रहे हैं तो भी नहीं हो रहे, तो अभी एकादशी के दिन ज्यादा माला करना पड़ता है. We have to chant more. पहले आधा घंटा पढ़ रहे थे, अभी 1 घंटा पढ़ना, अभी 2 घंटा पढ़ना. Prabhupada said at least 2 hours. I heard 2 hours. I mean, yeah. So recent listener Shambhu has set the record, world record of 6 hours Bhagavatam class. Has to be heard like this. Why? संचिंतयेद. मन नहीं लगता है हमको. Naturally, the constitutional position of mind is what? Attached to dirty things. You leave the mind, it will go to dirty things. Like, you throw the stone in the air. Naturally, what will happen? It will come down to the earth because, stone belongs to the earth. You put a fire, naturally the smoke will go upwards or downwards? Upwards, because the sun is there in the sky. Because the sun element is there here, it will naturally, the mind will go where? Dirty things, because it is a product of material world. It's a product of material world. But that same mind, when it is trained to focus on the lotus feet of the Lord, it will help us to take us to the spiritual. If we don't put effort, then what will happen? It will keep us in this material world. See, we have this mischievous tendency, Example is given of one rich man, Jamindar. He called one thief had come to steal, in the house. He caught that steal and engaged him in the job. And he gave some work in the house. So this steal, this person was working good. But one day he saw that the master has kept some golden necklace. He stole and ran away. And second time again, the Jamindar caught him, and it said him, "Don't be mischievous like this." So our situation in bhakti also is like this. We are, somehow we came to steal some prasad, or we came to steal some, what you call is some nice thing. Recently, one devotee was giving, how our practice of bhakti is like what? In the plate, there are some 5, 6 sweets. Man, gulab jamun is there, rasagulla is there, rabdi is there. What else? What else? Mysore pak is there. What else? Shahi tukda hai. Our carrot halwa. So all these sweets are there, and in between we have put a little bit of pickle. So when I eat first sweet, I will take little bit of pickle and go to the second sweet. Why? Why? Huh? Why? हाँ, तो वो टेस्ट क्या बोलना कि ना सेकंड स्वीट का टेस्ट है ना वो वी हैव टू फील द नेचुरल. So initially our practice of bhakti is like what? We do sense gratification, come little bit do bhakti and go to second sense gratification. Like this pickle. थोड़ा थोड़ा आओ मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम करो, दिन में जाके बाकी जो करना है कर लो. So this is not going to work. This is not going to work. है ना? तो इट हैज टू बी डन फॉर लॉन्ग टाइम. क्या होता है जब मॉर्निंग प्रोग्राम में बैठते हैं ना, 1 घंटे के बाद लगता है कब उठ के चले जाऊं फर्स्ट फ्लोर को, कब उठ के चले जाऊं ग्राउंड में ना, क्या बोलते हैं सेकंड फ्लोर को. दैट हीट ना, वी डोंट वांट टू टेक इट. Don't want to take it. So that's why what is said is we have to practice longer. So we have to check ourselves, what is the stamina, how much do I have stamina to listen, how much can I sit. If I ask how much, what is the capacity? 2 hours. How many of you tell, how many of you sat for 2 hours and heard some class? 2 hours. That's good. 4 hours. 4 hours. I understand. Maybe some obligation you would have sat sometimes. But you felt, it was good. 4 hours went like this, it was good. It has to be checked. 6 hours. 6 hours. You can try sometimes, It's good sometimes. It's good. I think recently those who were there in Pune, our duties had gone. They had a good time. Reading, reading, 2 hours at a stretch. 4 hours, 4 hours. Nobody. 4 hours. I mean, you don't have to feel for others, Prabhu. At least you tell now. Next time you'll sit if you have done. Sometime back you have done 4 hours at a stretch. Stretch. We have to do that actually. We do that. Why? See, the andhakar in the heart is so much. That's why it said, Sanchintayed Bhagavatas Charanara Vindam. When we meditate upon the lotus feet, meditating upon the lotus feet, one is, yes, symbolic, that is meditating on the lotus feet. But second one is what? Go to the Bhagavatam, and which is the lotus feet of Bhagavatam? First and second canto. You read for Sanchinta, read for long time. Kya hua? Like you read the first canto, this chapter of, actually many sections of first canto is very wonderful. Bhishmadev prayers, amazing it is. Correct, na? Kunti Maharani prayers, amazing it is. Narada Muni section, third chapter, amazing it is. Then this Krishna entering Mathura, amazing it is again there. Correct, na? So you read that and meditate. See, in Gulf countries, devotees are very, very powerful. You know why? Every day their thing is what? They get up in the morning. I mean, they don't have, kind of so much facilities. They all come together. Devotees, they sit. They take one shloka of Bhagavatam. Huh? They read the shloka, they read the word to word, they read translation, and they read the purport. And they read so carefully. What they do is in the daytime, they will think that word. Today we read the word Sanchintayed. Sa Chintayed. So whole day, what they do? They externally are engaged in all the work, but internally they are absorbed in what? Sanchintayed. No? What you call that word sanchintayat dhyayato. We read, samsara tapa nishnapto. Prabhuji said, how to make plan to read for 4 hours. You're understanding, na? Daytime has to spend like that. So when you do that, repeatedly, there was one devotee manager in ISKCON temple. He was so busy, such a big temple, so busy schedule. You know what he does? He does the management, and in between, whenever he gets time, he runs to his private place. For what? Sleep. For sleeping? No. For what? Bhagavat. Bhagavat. He goes, opens the Bhagavat. A little bit. Sometimes, we are standing in line for half an hour. Correct, na? To get prasadam plate. What do you do? What do you do? No. Usually what we do is, we see, who is there and, chat and, gossip and, as I said, first we talk about people around us. Second, we talk about the ambience that is there. And third, fortunately, we may discuss about tattva, philosophy. Proji thoda gyan ke bare mein baat karte hain. Chalo बैठ के usually it doesn't happen. We have to. But if you just open Bhagavatam of that half an hour, in half an hour, how many pages you can read? 10 pages you can read. Correct? I mean, at least, correct, no? 10, 15 pages. Amazing it is. I mean, so we have to plan properly how to spend our time in things. So when we do that practice chintanam, that is, we come to a stage called as Shravana Dasha. So Shravana Dasha means a devotee naturally likes to sit and hear to the glories of the Lord. And Prabhus, I tell you, if we hear to the Katha of the Lord regularly, and especially this practice has to be built in the initial days of bhakti. And if we don't develop this taste, what you call is will be what you call will become vanchita. Vanchita means uh, what do you call deprived. Will become vanchit of the nectar that we can get in Krishna bhakti actually. Because what you call is when you hear so nicely, right? What you call is you'll be so Krishna conscious, what you call in the practice, and the whole enthusiasm required for the practice of bhakti to come, to chant, to dance, automatically will come. If you don't hear, then that whole thing will become mechanical and will become like robots. Robots means what? No, TK, I'm supposed to come for Mangalarati. I'm supposed to come for Bhagavatam class. I'm supposed to put tilak on 12 parts. I'm supposed to wear dhoti kurta. I mean, all these things, it comes when we don't hear regularly. But if we hear regularly, small acts of bhakti can give higher sense of, nourishment and juice in Krishna consciousness. So that's why it is mentioned here. So see here, he goes on telling the living entity state is what? In this material world, how dukkha it is. One auspicious situation to another, suffering from the moment of creation until the time of cosmic manifestation. Everyone is suffering, in this world. See here, flooding down in raindrops as long as trunk of an elephant, the deadly rainfall submerges the entire universe in water. Yeah, see here, King Nimi asks, "Oh great sage, please explain me how even a foolish materialist can easily cross over the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord, which is always insurmountable for those who are not self-controlled." Correct? Correct? Is there a very easy path to cross over illusory energy? Yes. Answer is given by Prabuddha. He tells, accepting the roles of male and female in human society, the conditioned souls unite in sexual relationships. Thus, they constantly make material endeavors to eliminate their unhappiness and unlimitedly increase their pleasure. But one should see that they inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. I mean, no, जो बताया जाता है कि इससे सुख मिलता है, नहीं. What we get? Exactly the opposite result. I am not telling this. Bhagavatam is telling this. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes, and as they grow older, their material discomfort increases. So, if we plan to live a life without Krishna consciousness, this is the result. So, it's very, very important to keep Krishna in the center. That has to be always, what you call is focused upon. If we compromise that, this is the result that's going to come. Here, what is being wealth is a perpetual source of distress. It is most difficult to acquire and it is virtual death for the soul. What satisfaction does one actually gain from his wealth? How can one gain ultimate or permanent happiness from one's so called home, children, relatives, domestic animals, which are all maintained by one's hard earned money? And that's what Prabhupada also was telling in the purport. Correct, na? This is not the thing that has to be focused. So, what has to be focused upon? So, all this, yeah. See here. Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta जिज्ञासु श्रेय उत्तमम् शब्दे परे च निष्णातम् ब्रह्मणि उपसमाश्रयम्. So to come out of this, the solution is what? Easy, very, very easy way to come out of this illusory energy is what? Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta. What you have to do therefore now is go and surrender unto a spiritual master, and he will give you the Shreya, the Uttama Shreya he is going to give you by the knowledge. Shabde Parecha, because he is so strongly established in the Vedic scriptures, he will teach you how to do. And now the whole thing, continues. Hmm? One should accept the spiritual master as one's life and soul, as worshipable deity. Should learn. You see, proper disciples, they took one instruction of Prabhupada disciple and how they worshipped that instruction. Correct? Now I have put here the photo of His Holiness. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami. How he worshipped the instruction of Prabhupada. Correct? Now building the temples, making books. My God. Prabhupada said, what you call is you print a book, come to see me in the last days. Correct, now, Prabhuji? If I'm not wrong. Yeah, only if you print a new book, you should come to see me. Otherwise, what you call is so Maharaj used to somehow or the other, get the books printed and used to go and show to the front row. Very nice, very nice. Used to like to give himself to his pure devotees. So this kind of dedication has to be developed to the spiritual master. Then what is going to be very easy to cross over this illusory energy. So what you call is the point I was telling is the Lord's pastimes in this world has to be heard from the mouth of the spiritual master for long period. Only then what happens? Sanchintayet Bhagavatas Charanarvindam Vajrankusha Dvaja Sarorya Lanchanadya. When we take darshan, in this verse, Kapila was telling that Vajra, Ankusha, Dvaja, Sarora, all those things that are present in the heart, that are present in the lotus feet of the Lord, that has to be taken darshan for long period of time. Then what happens? Uttunga Rakta Vilasan Nakachakra. If we just meditate on the nails of the toe of the lotus feet of the Lord, they are so bright like millions of suns. It can eradicate the Uttunga Rakta Vilasan Nakachakravala Jyotsnabir Ahata Mahat Rudaya Andakaram. A mountain of Andakar that is there in the heart will be smashed to dust just by taking darshan of the nail of the toe of the lotus feet of the Lord for long period of time. Means if we just take one verse or one line of the verse and meditate upon that for longer and longer period, that much is sufficient. And Prabhupada said that, correct? Prabhupada, was there in Australia and called our uh, Shrutakirti Prabhu. Shrutakirti Prabhu, correct. So he said, bring the book. Actually, devotees were sleeping, in that side room, and snoring sound was coming. Prabhupada said, who is snoring? Because jet lag. Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, they're all tired. Prabhupada said, what? How can you waste time like this? Call all of them together. And Shrutakirti went and waked them, all of them, and they all came and sat. And they were all like, coming and they said, how can you waste time, like this sleeping? Bring the book. They brought the book. So the Prabhupada, which book? He said, any book. You bring any book. I think he brought, if I'm not wrong, eighth canto or seventh canto, something like that. He brought the book. So Prabhupada said, any book. So he brought the book. He asked Prabhupada, which chapter? He said, any chapter. Said Prabhupada, and you know what you call is when he was reading, he said, uh, somebody reads, this one line, his life will be perfect. And then Prabhupada said, somebody just reads this one, I think Krishna book it was, reads one word of this, his life will become purified. So Prabhupada has made the statement. There are examples where people have got completely, purified like this. There was one, what you call is, there was one person outside who got Chaitanya Charitamrita in the outside library, in the outside library, and he did not know who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu everything. He just took the book and read it as like a novel. People do read like novel, and he read complete Chaitanya Charitamrita in 3 months. He became so attached after reading the first volume, he went to the second volume, third one. Within 3 months, he completed. And he thought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there somewhere in the world, dancing with all Panchatattva, Shiva's Thakur, they're all dancing. There are devotees somewhere, chanting Hare Krishna and doing Sankirtan. There is some Ratha Yatra place called Jagannath Puri, and every day, it happens, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes behind the cart, and it does. He was thinking it is happening actually. And one day he came to Poland festival of Indrazum Swami Maharaj, Solnas. So there, when he was there, when he came there, he saw in the evening devotees were doing this kirtan there. And he said, hey, this same Sankirtan, I read in the book. And it was a bit far and there are lakhs of people, there. He could not, rain started coming, he went and next day he came back. So next day when he came back, he followed these devotees and went to the place where the pandal was there. And there, for the first time in his life, he saw Ratha. Ratha, the Ratha of Lord Jagannath, and he was like shocked. Hey, this is the same Ratha that I read because for him the famous pastime of the Chaitanya Charitamrita was Ratha Yatra, it seems, in Madhya Leela. And he was like, this is the same Ratha. And he was just seeing, from top to down, 10, 15 minutes he was seeing. So there was one devotee on the Rath who saw this devotee, अरे 10 minutes से देख रहा है ऐसे घूम के क्या देख रहा है? I mean, is he doing some sketch to, do some plunder or what? He came down and he asked me, who are you? Why are you looking like this? So he said, don't disturb me, move this. They were saying like this. My God, this kind of absorption, I also don't have. So you're able to see, Sa Chintayer Bhagavatas Charanaravindram Vajrankush Dvaja Saroriha Lanchanadhyam Uttunga Rakta Vilasan Nakachakravala Jyotsnabhirahata Mahatrudendra. So the devotee ran to Maharaj, Maharaj, Maharaj. Some great devotee has come here. Some great devotee has come here. Telling, he's so much absorbed in taking the darshan of the Rath. He went and brought, Maharaj. And Maharaj asked him, who you are, what you are. He said, I read this. I read about this. He was asking, where is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? I want to meet him also. There was one more devotee that I read past time. After reading Prabhupada books, he wrote a letter to addressing to Srila Prabhupada. Ki, dear Srila Prabhupada, I mean, some like, Prabhupada was not on the earth, but still he thought, this person, the author of this book, somewhere still is there. So he took a address of ISKCON temple and he wrote the letter as if he's writing to Srila Prabhupada. Dear Srila Prabhupada, I am so and so. I read your this so and so book. I was so amazed. Where are you? I want to come and meet you and I want to take initiative. He wrote the whole thing. The temple president of that, wrote back, please come, I will tell you what. And so there are people like that, what you call it. There was one old lady um, in some Hungary, if I'm not wrong, somewhere in that country. Her granddaughter had bought the book Science of Self-Realization. So she said, what is this book? Thrown off. After some time, this grandmother read that Science of Self-Realization book and became so attached to Srila Prabhupada. So attached. She got all the other books also. And every day in the house, they left meeting. They were Christians, core Catholic Christians they were. I hope you'd have read this, right? So she left meat eating and she used to get the books from the temple, take all the family for book distribution. Before taking prasadam, she will make sure everyone there chants one round of Hare Krishna mantra and only then they take the food. And the granddaughter wrote a letter to His Holiness Shiram Swami Maharaj telling Maharaj, what has happened to my grandmother? I see her sometimes sitting in front of Prabhupada's photo, crying tears. Crying tears. Why this effect has come? absorbingly for the long period of time has read Prabhupada books. See, sometimes what we are there in the process, we are there in the system, and we miss out the benefit. Correct, na? There are so many flowers are there everywhere. We are like weeds there, simply affecting the other flowers, who are there. Correct, correct. So that should not be our uh, standing. Rather, we should understand how great fortune, in this desert like place like this has come really. I remember once coming to that old base, what you call, I was there, I thought बाप रे क्या है ये ना, इतना sound आता है vehicles ना, पूरा रात पैया पैया पैया. Morning when I stand here I thought about this this is really in Bangalore, but too in Sarjapur road. Correct, this is so peaceful actually. Getting here such big deities, Prabhu. Radha Madhav deities, such big, Gaurneta, standing such nice festival. Every festival that happens in ISKCON Shishadripuram happens here also. And I tell you, so many devotees staying together. I'm telling you, it's, we know the days where we were just two or three without cook and have to do the whole thing. I mean, it was also blissful. I'm not telling it was not blissful, but this is more. That was like, what you call full kitchen, three, four lotuses are staying together, it was like that. Correct, no? I mean, that is also, what you call is appreciable, but much more is we get. So when we get more, we miss out. So that, we have to be very, very careful as such. So last coming to the conclusion, I'll just, show you these things. So mind has to be taught, how to be absorbed in the Krishna consciousness process. Coming. So just see here how we can train the mind to be absorbed. I'll just end with this. So when a living entity comes in this material world, what you call is with the material creation, his service attitude is transformed in the propensity for enjoyment. See, bhakti is all about the attitude that we have. See, Krishna gives. See, now Krishna has given us an opportunity to stay here in this and check how is our service attitude. How is our attitude? Is it evolving or deprived, over the years? So he checks. If he sees that we are making advancement in the attitude, then he gives more better facilities. If we don't properly utilize in our attitude, we don't evolve in our attitude, then accordingly ye tamam prapadyante, we are gone, we are taken over there. So bhakti, that's what Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction introduction. What advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on attitude of the follower, hai na? See, so we have to see how we are exposed. See, this mind is like a garden in your hands. Chaitanya Prabhu gives this example. In one hand I will give you wheat seeds, and in another hand I will give you nice wonderful seeds of flowers. So how you want to grow the garden? Correct, na? What you want to throw, in the garden. So that is in our hands. So if I put a lot of seeds of flowers, flowers will go. I want to grow only weeds. You see the whole garden destroyed within 2 to 3 months, when the whole weeds grow. So this mind, the consciousness what you have is also like this garden. Every day how we spend, are we throwing weeds or are we throwing flowers? Are we throwing devotional? So every day, how many shlokas I learned today? It's a seed of flowers, Oh, how wonderful shloka today I learned. Oh, this devotee, so wonderful he is. So many wonderful qualities he has. Correct, na? These are all what? Seeds of flowers. Seeds of weeds means? Seeds of weeds means? Fault finding. Then, oh my God, looks like all of you don't know about the concept of seeds of weeds only, looks like. Great souls. Seeds of weeds are sense gratification, prajalpa, gossip, huh? Envy. No, you are telling characteristics. These are all very abstract way of escaping the weeds. I am asking very particular, very particular. Not reading Prabhupada books, not reading Prabhupada books. Then, huh? In reels देखते हुए you so I also, because I was just making YouTube videos, I was just seeing the short. How foolish, how they waste time, Prabhu. Yesterday I was coming in Rapido from Mahadevpura to here. This Rapido wala was playing the shorts on his mobile there. what he's seeing, what he's seeing, I'm not understanding what he's seeing. Like, why is he, allowing his consciousness to be spread, which that kind of thing. Rather than that, if you utilize Krishna conscious, how amazing it is. How amazing. Krishna promises you do little bit, I'll avoid you so much of benediction. Correct, na? So the impressions are very, very important. So prolong, you'll get impressions. So three levels is, first thing is we have to hear for long time. That is Shravana Dasa. Hearing. The second stage comes, that is Varana Dasha, where we want to enthusiastically engage ourselves in the chanting of the holy name and holy fame. Prabhuji, when Mangalarti will happen so that I can jump, that side to this side to pura, pura. That will come when you heard the glories of the Lord. See, when I initially went to Srirangam, I saw everywhere church. I was like, "Baapre, kya hai ye church?" You know, though I was in Srirangam, I was thinking about church. I was thinking about church. What are this? Why they are doing this? What they are doing this? I was not able to feel that appreciation. The place I was in, actually, I was thinking, this is horrible. Who will become devotees here? Afterwards, when I started to hear the glories of Ranganath Swami, Nam Perumal pastor, so like, my God, this is amazing. This is benediction only. The place that is come. It is said, I'm just giving you an example. When I heard, you know, the people of earth want to go to Swargaloka, the people of Swargaloka want to go to Brahmaloka, the people of Brahmaloka want to go to Vaikunta to serve the Lord Vishnu. And the people of Vaikunta want to come to Srirangam as a dog so that they can get the dust of the Vaishnavas, or Nam Perumal is walking so much on the road. Nam Perumal, out of 365 days, 322 days is on the streets only, walking here and there. Sometimes you go for taking darshan inside, you'll not find. And such big temple, you'll very difficult to get to know where is he today. Very difficult. I mean, I also have experience of this. So much. So they want all of a sudden, Kulshekar always say, I want to become a dust. Rather, if you see when you enter, there is a stone, carved offering obeisance. That is Kulshekar Alvar actually. He tells, I want to become dust. I want to. His whole consciousness. Rather, his Pranam mantra itself has, I want to be dust in the Shirangam. Like that it is. So, what you call is, after hearing these glories, then the whole thing, changed. Kya, amazing it is, this is so spiritual. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed here for 4 months. My God, no place, he has stayed for 4 months, This is the place that he was there then. Just being in this place. You're understanding? Changed. How? Hearing. So after that we get Varana Dasha. We are constantly engaged in hearing. And then after that comes Smarana Dasha, where we want to remember continuously. You know the example of Smarana Dasha? Uddhav. You can read afterwards. 3.2.4. Bhagavad, amazing shloka, amazing translation, amazing purport, where we can also see Prabhupada so elevated in his consciousness. It is mentioned Uddhava was in his transcendental state of the spiritual world. When Maitreya Muni came, Vidura came, he came from that spiritual world to the earth. And he came out of the transcendental consciousness. So that is actually Smarana Dasha, actually. I'm not going into details because of lack of time. Otherwise, this itself is a topic of discussion, actually. So we should live in a conducive way to control the mind, avoid things that will agitate the mind with sensual thoughts. This is what is meant by living an austere life. So, what is the austerity of mind? Please repeat. Mana prasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhiriti etat tapo manasa muchate. So, second homework is, please read the translation of purport of this verse. Prabhupada writes 7 times. Avoid sense gratification and engage yourself in the absorption. 7 times Prabhupada writes. See here. If you read this purport, Prabhupada writes 7 times. 7 times he writes. Avoid sense. Here, to make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification. You see here, the best way to control the mind is, the best training to the mind is gravity in thought. See here, always avoid sense gratification. Satisfaction of mind can only be obtained by keeping the mind away from the points of sense enjoyment. Right? The more we think of sense enjoyment, we become dissatisfied. See here again, third, unnecessarily engage the mind in so many different ways of sense gratification. See here again, next down. Divert the mind to the Vedic scriptures. So many times Prabhupada is writing, avoid, avoid, avoid. Why? That is the austerity of mind. So how we can cultivate is, first thing, we should follow 64 regulative principles. Very strongly we should be adhering. One devotee asked a question to His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Swami Maharaj. Maharaj, how to become pure devotee? How to become pure devotee? Maharaj said, follow 64 regulative principles. Consistently, Nityam Bhagavata Seva, Sachinte, follow regularly. Then you'll become pure devotee. First is 64 regulative principles. And 64 Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is so beautifully, Rupa Goswami has given. We should deep dive, what are the instructions that is given. I also remember one more thing. Second one is contemplation. Between Smarana Dasha and Kirtana Dasha comes in between Mananam, contemplation. Even His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshav Maharaj tells every day he does 5 things without miss. First, he tells, I spend private time with Krishna. Nobody, me, Vaishnava song or some shloka, just develop that relationship with Krishna by reciting, by reading. What am I? Who is Lord Krishna? How do I develop relationship? So he tells that one. Second thing he tells is contemplation. He contemplates. He contemplates. Next, third one, bodhayanta paraswar. When we are with the devotees, we should utilize the time to discuss about Krishna, not with something else. Fourth one, develop Shastra. There are 3 chakshus, right? Charma chakshu, Shastra chakshu, Prema chakshu. Charma chakshu, what Prabhupada spoke in the purport. Attached, sex desire. Going from there to Shastra chakshu. So we should read long hours, long hours, long hours, long hours. You read the past time. I was reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the further chapters, there. How beautiful, my God, the section of whole, there is a chapter of Sakyaras, the pastimes of Krishna with his friends. Amazing it is. Amazing, I can. Time is not there. I'm not showing you that what is written, the photo. If you just see, it is as it is. It is as it is. There is a boy who's coming from behind and hugging Krishna, and Krishna is catching someone between, and that is written over there. And you would have seen this photo of, I think it's not here. You would have seen this photo of Mother Yashoda putting ankle bells to Krishna, and one more gopi is showing a mirror, and behind, there are boys to whom Krishna is touching with a flute, and there are some boys outside the house standing and watching, Krishna. You would have seen this photo? I'll not show the photo. Time is less again. If you read and when you see it, like, my God, this is what the name of the Gopas are given, what is happening is given, and what Krishna is trying to do, and Mother Yashoda is testing Krishna. Hey, Krishna, don't do all this. That is also given there. That is developing Shastra Chakshu. Memorizing Vaishnava songs and shlokas. Very, very important. Very, very important. When we are in bathroom, we should sing Vaishnava. We should recite shlokas. When we are just walking, we should. I remember, I'm telling honestly, I used to see in my early days Vrindavan Gopal. Used to go to college with shloka book and coming back shloka book. I think most of the shlokas he memorized just by reading the shlokas. Going, coming, going. Every day, 10 minutes going, 10 minutes coming, 20 minutes per month. So many days it will. Per year, so many days. So you're able to see small thing. Sa chintayed. Praying for, begging for service, repentance, shelter. Empties the mind of all other thoughts, helps to gain mastery over mind, ability to think of Krishna at will. Accepting services from Vaishnava superiors and do the services with prayerful bhava. Think of Krishna directly. Directly is what? Nam, Roop, Guna, Leela, morning program. Gold weight. Indirectly, Krishna Shakti's iron weight, office. In office, how you can be Krishna conscious? That is secondary. Okay? I'll stop with your question. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Sorry. Yeah, you can take the PPT. I'll give them. Okay? So whoever has to go for your office, sorry for completely holding you back in Sa Chintayed. So I hope what you call is we could practice some of these things and become ecstatic in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So those who have to go for Prashada Mandal can proceed, Prabhus. Anybody has any questions as such? Can we have? As can we have? Prabhuji, would you like to add anything, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna. Correct. How to? And it covers all the 64 YouTube films. Yes. Yes. Whoever comes morning program every day without miss, we can see very bright, face, very happy. Whatever happens, see, material life, it will happen up and down. There has to be up and down. You cannot expect, it will nothing will happen, it will go good. नहीं वो पिकल का ये नहीं स्वीट्स का वो है ही नहीं so you come do morning program nicely happy very happy yeah. We have Prabhuji also coming so nicely. You want to add something, Prabhuji? कुछ ऐड करना चाहते हैं कोई समथिंग लेनी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय anybody has questions anybody has questions yes yes see there is see sex desire on gross level means the relationship on subtler it's called as adoration now what is it puja labha pratishta so many times people do this altruistic and philanthropic activities for putting their big photos on the roadsides for putting for running Instagram reels they do the philanthropy right nowadays there are people who go and give what 1 lakh rupees to somebody why there is selfless thing in that no they want to make a reel and put it so the people will see uh, earn more there is the whole cycle is it. So tell me where is devotion in this so when it is selfless Krishna in Bhagavad Gita recommends that at the lowest state I mean like it is yes but it's not at the higher it's at the lower so there we call that as somewhere it could be called as nishkama seva but not in with Krishna in the center rather it's just selfless activity about that also is mentioned in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that Torah, those 12 verses that are there, I mean 12 steps that are there. There he mentions, ki, people, if they're not able to come and attach it to me, at least they can engage in serving to the people, don't disturb that. Because by that, gradually they'll come to point to serve Krishna. You might have seen some people in this world, yesterday we had gone to meet one person. He just wants to, give the place to us for doing some activities. It is good for him. He may not know devotion, but because of that self giving somewhere, that giving has come to Krishna also now. His bhakti started. He'll advance. He'll advance. Friends, that selfless will bring slowly to Krishna. Devotees will put that in Krishna, and by that you will start doing devotion service. It becomes wonderful devotee. So it's good if we can bring the person uplift. Just getting stuck at that, what you call is only doing philanthropic is of no use. Is of no use. It can pull you down to sinful activity also. 8 point, if I'm not wrong, 12.8 to 11 or 12.8 to 11, 8 to 11, 12.8 to 11, 12 chapter. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, Prabhus, for all of your hospitality, for all of your patience. Please don't, I hope, complain.